Hey, 40 J here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's feeling good. Today we've got a cool episode. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to be taking a look at Evelyn Miller, one of the famous authors inside Red Dead Redemption 2. He is a huge idol to Dutch, and we're going to be taking a look at the influence he's had on Dutch and taking a look at the side missions you can do in the epilogue for him. Really going to be deep diving into his character, looking at his ego, really discussing how he influences Dutch and how they both come to their downfalls. So please stick around for the episode. I think you'll really enjoy it. Hit the like button if you do enjoy and subscribe if you're new. Now let's get into it. So who is Evelyn Miller? As I said, he's a famous author who is idolized by Dutch. He has wrote books called An American Eden, The American Inferno, and America. So he's really famous throughout the Red Dead Redemption universe. Some people really love his work and others don't. Even the gang have their own opinions of him.
What you reading, Dutch?
Evelyn Miller, of course.
That old windbag?
He's no windbag, son. He is a seer. He sees things that we don't know yet.
I know, I'm just teasing.
You're just afraid of opening your mind because you might not like what you find.
You're probably right. You know, you always had the most incredible way of putting things.
Mr. Miller has a way of putting things. Me, I'm just an old outlaw, not prepared to go quietly.
Oh, you're more than that, Dutch. You're... Well, you're amazing.
Hello, Arthur. Hey, Doug. Oh, I am okay, son. I'm okay. It's interesting. You know, that thing Evelyn Miller says, I ain't your king. I ain't your Messiah. I hope you all know that. But my God, there are fools in this world, and there are even bigger fools that listen to them. Nobody is looking for something so much as the American people. But it is like old Miller says, the power, the kingship we seek, it is in us. And if we deny it, then we make others our Lord. If we deny it, I love that.
I don't quite get it.
You will, son. You will. You read much Evelyn Miller, son?
I tried it.
Isn't he wonderful?
He doesn't say much to me.
Doesn't say much. But he says all there is that needs to be said.
No. He speaks very prettily, but he doesn't say anything new. My pa used to speak about intellectuals like him as the scourge of the American mind. Thinkers who think and spout pretty sayings and say nothing of any great interest.
You're breaking my poor, stupid heart.
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm keeping the faith. Listen to this. It's like I've been telling you all of these years.
What is?
Oh, this passage by Mr. Miller. I can't believe I never read this before. Listen, all of you, listen to this.
Get on with it.
The whole point of America is freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of deed, freedom of action. Yet how have most of our brethren responded to having their yokes cast off by getting on that boat from Europe? By enslaving themselves. They may no longer be serfs tending some master's field and giving them rights of refusal on their wives, but they have found themselves new masters in the relentlessness of ownership. The attempts at dominion over the land have enslaved them, not the land. In owning things, people, businesses, the former serfs of Europe have become not masters, not stewards, but intellectual dwarves managed by the world quite as much as Europe's enduring peasantry. And in many ways more so, for they are tricked into believing they are free, whereas the peasant knows he is trapped. Isn't that the truest thing you ever heard?
Not quite the truest. Truest thing I ever heard was this. My little boy crying because he didn't have enough to eat.
Meaning?
Meaning, fine words, butter no parsnips, as I used to hear. Excuse me. Enjoy your book, Dutch.
I think it went over her head.
I think it did. Mine too.
Oh, stop playing dumb, Arthur. I know you better than that.
Mr. Miller ain't really my thing, you know that.
Shout out to Indo J for those clips. I'll link his channel down below. Make sure to go and give him a sub. But as you could see there, most of the gang has a negative opinion about Evelyn, except for Micah. But you can tell that Micah is just trying to butter up Dutch and get on his good side. But let me show you another clip when we first meet Evelyn.
Hey, do I know you?
Mr. I believe we've met.
We have?
At that ghastly party.
Oh, Evelyn Miller.
Unfortunately so, Mr.
Arthur Morgan, at least sometimes.
Can I say something rude?
Sure.
The mayor thinks you robbed him. To be clear, he wasn't very upset about it. He rather liked you.
Okay.
Do you, well, I mean to say, can you steal things?
Is there a reason you're asking me to incriminate myself, Mr. Miller?
Well, I'm sorry. Have you met? This is Rains Fall, a great chief, and his son, Eagle Flies.
Gentlemen?
Yeah, we saw you in the wagon train crossing the river at Cumberland Falls.
Evelyn Miller is first seen in the mission, The Guided Cage, talking with the Saint Denis mayor. He doesn't really say much though when you don't interact with him a lot. That's the first time you really get an interaction. But we find out more about him when we do the side missions. The American Inferno Burnt Out. We'll be of course taking a look at those side missions. But before we do, I want to show you an article in the Blackwater Ledger about Evelyn. If you purchase Blackwater Ledger number 73, you'll be able to read the article for yourself. So let's take a look at it here. Let's flip it over. Read. There we go. So it says, Evelyn Miller resigns, seduced by fame. Social theorist and philosopher Evelyn Miller has resigned his post at Princeton after increased turmoil regarding his theories on mankind and the savage, announcing that he had become troubled at his own remorseless hypocrisy. The once regaled professor and theorist of what separates the white man from that of the lowly savage left the university in haste, and is reported to have retreated into the wilderness to write a book about becoming one with it. Once a fixture at society events in several states, he has long been accused by some of being seduced by fame, with the penchant for entertaining aristocrats in salons with his theories of the rights of man, nature, and the urges of the savages. His publisher reports that they have not heard from Mr. Miller in quite some time, and are not aware if he is authoring a follow-up work of his best-selling books. To find Evelyn Miller, you'll need to come here on the map. When you arrive, you'll see Evelyn looking out at the view.
Quite a view.
Uh-huh. You know, this landscape, these views, this America, it holds us tight. And once we've seen it, we'll never know ignorance again.
Maybe.
It is that beauty, which really is the eternal beauty that is truth. This is God. Not the proof, but the thing. Not his work, but him. Wonderment is our morphine, I suppose. All us Americans dream of places. They are our God. Our dreams. Us, perhaps.
I suppose.
Forgive my crude naivete, but are you a cowboy, sir?
Not really. Kind of.
I am that most worthless of all creatures. A writer. A second guesser of our creator. A dreamer of others' dreams.
Okay.
Evelyn Miller.
Evelyn Miller? A man I knew. He was a great lover of your books.
Thank you. But you're not?
Most went a little over my head, I'm afraid, but some of the bits he read stuck with me.
I'm a terrible fraud, sir. Your friend was deceived. I am God's blithe plaything. And what a feeble game he has begun in me.
My mentor never saw things quite like that.
You know, I used to write in a study and teach at a university. I taught some Connecticut fops how best to appreciate their topiary. I was a gilded ape. I loathe the man I was. The man I am.
Guess we all live with certain ways of coping with what we've done in this life.
I enjoyed our conversation. There's a truth in you, sir, a rare truth. Treasure it. I'm living in a cabin over near Tanner's Reach. Come by sometime. Maybe we might talk some more.
Maybe I shall.
Good day.
When John talks to Evelyn about Dutch, he says, your friend is deceived. So what does this tell us about Dutch? Even Evelyn thinks his own work was utter rubbish, and Dutch was spewing that to the gang the whole time. He really built his hypotheses on a lie, which is really interesting to think that Rockstar have tied this up, showing us in these side missions with Evelyn why Dutch went crazy. It's one of the reasons why he was insane. He was basing all of his stories on lies. Wait a few days in game and then come to this waypoint to meet Evelyn again.
My, the reticent cowboy.
Hello?
You never told me your name.
Jim. Milk. John Marston.
Which?
John Marston. Long story.
I'm a writer. I love stories.
Another time. Guess I'm as big a fraud as you claim to be.
I'm trying, John. My wife didn't understand. Doesn't understand. The parish priest has taken to writing me missives about the exact nature of my sins. The parish priest! Can you imagine? Oh, what a petty-minded lot they are. I was attracted by my fraudulent fame, by the idea of me as some kind of provincial seer. It makes me sick. But here, I live like a man. I'm feeble, but alive. I'm a man! For the first time in my life, I'm a man.
Okay.
Or, I'm still a coward, but a real man would happily die rather than live as I do.
I don't know about that. We're all scared of something. Something within us.
But me, I'm nothing but fear. Fear and doubt and lies. Just a glimpse of how other men have coped and lived and survived and flourished. There are days when I sit here and weep about all the things that I've lost. We've lost. We true Americans, we peasants. We are killing this place, John Marston.
Killing what?
This great beauty, this truth.
What are you talking about?
Come. Let me show you.
Where are we headed?
Prepare to be shocked. Come along. Follow me. Come on.
Unless you're showing me Bigfoot, you should know. I'm not so easily shocked, Mr. Miller.
But you will be. Wait until you see the waste, the boundless appetites of these men. I know you will be horribly shocked because I see that frontier spirit in you. The self-reliance, the harmony with nature that us modern men have so lamentably lost.
I hate to spoil your impression of me, but I've been known to eat from a can just as often as...
Oh no! Up there! The poor creature is caught in a bear trap. John, can you do something?
Let me see.
The cruelty of it. If you could pry it open, it may recover.
Stay calm. Let me try and get you out of this.
Those contraptions, they are unforgiving and indiscriminate. You did it! It's free! A second chance at life.
Maybe. As long as that wound don't go bad.
Still, better to die free than in the jaws of a machine. Now, come on. We have further to ride. Giddy up. The men I'd like to show you. They could have set that trap.
Hunters? I've seen hunters, sir, and like I said, I've been one myself.
Hunting for food or skins is one thing. But dredging rivers, burning out forests, killing everything you find, and leaving all but the most valuable parts to rot, that is who these men are. They are the rapaciousness of our financial markets let loose in the wilderness. A sign that our way of life has come to an end.
I see plenty of those signs.
Look, here they are. I will speak to them.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
You men are heathens! Ignoble savages! Animals! Shit, look! Look at what What's your problem? You're...
You'll have to take care of some hunters, but shouldn't be too hard. I'm gonna brawl this guy and then I might as well just shoot him. That's them dealt with.
That was clarity, John. This place. This is heaven and hell. The duality.
I think you got hit on the head. Come on, let's get you out of here before more of them show up.
But...
I think we've made our point. Now, come on, let's go. Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, you about?
Hello, sir. I'm working, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I'm desperately trying to finish my book. It's absolute tripe, you know, but it's all I've got left.
Well,
I'm not eating, drinking liquor, or leaving this cabin until this draft is complete.
Okay.
I feel amazing! Aside from the doubt and self-loathing, but I've seen a great beauty, John.
Okay. You take care of yourself. Get yourself something to eat.
I can't fight my own nature. None of us can.
Dutch famously says this line.
We can't always fight nature, John. We can't fight change. We can't fight gravity. We can't fight nothing. My whole life, all I ever did was fight.
Then give up, Dutch.
But I can't give up, neither. I can't fight my own nature. That's a paradox, John. You see?
The fact that Dutch quotes Evelyn before his death shows how much inspiration he had on Dutch. But anyway, Evelyn has locked himself in the cabin and is refusing to leave until he finishes his book so we can leave him food so he doesn't starve.
I brought you some food, Mr. Miller.
Just let me complete this thought, eh? There's a good man.
You have to wait a few days in game and then come back and leave more food. You can do this for 3 times. Your final time arriving at the cabin, you'll notice that the curtains are closed and you'll be met with a surprise.
I brought you some food, Mr. Miller. What's that smell? Mr. Miller! Oh, shit. Crazy bastard.
When I'm done, just burn me. I want to soar in the air with the eagles, not rot in the ground with the worms.
Evelyn Miller.
Well, Mr. Miller is now dead. Let's take a look. He's left us a book. We'll take a look at that soon. He wants to burn, so we'll give him his wish. Just like Dutch, Evelyn has killed himself. Dutch jumped off a cliff to kill himself, and as for Evelyn, he locked himself indoors, wouldn't stop writing, wouldn't eat, probably wouldn't sleep, do anything but write until he died. We left him food, so he could have chose to eat the food, but I think he'd rather die. I think he couldn't live with the fact that he let fame get to him, and it just got too much. He just felt like he was living a lie. And you can see that the similarities between Evelyn and Dutch. He seems to be spouting lies to everyone, and he realised that, and he couldn't live with it. Dutch, I don't think he even realised he was spouting lies because he believed Evelyn's work so much. Now let's take a look at the book that he left behind. Chapter 13. To even consider America as an ideal, a place, an intriguer is to constrain it with the ideas of a European. I am a European, or at least of European descent. I am a writer. People used to pay me to think, or perhaps not to think, but to pretend to think in the correct manner. I worked at a university, those god-awful places where we sent our best and brightest to boil themselves and prevent too many original thoughts emerging. I ran away. I ran mostly because I am a terrible coward, but also in part because I was searching for something. In this way, I was both vain and a coward. Maybe I should never have left the university. Here I am, deep in the wilderness, living like a half-cooked hermit, like a truly sightless seer, and still I search, and still I do not quite find. Have I and those countless fops born into lives like mine across the east coast and the middle west, and the genteel parts of the south, being forever ossified like so many generations of Europeans before us, into men that are once not men, mutate us into thinkers who can never quite think, for we have been denuded of the ability to feel. Was this the method by which the serpent and the apple removed us from Eden? Not by letting us see, but allowing us to think, and thereby forever stopping us feeling. I am almost entirely consumed by my doubts, yet there is within me still a tiny spark that tells me it is possible. This land makes it possible. The chance of absolution. Absolution from the European hell of thought and back to Eden, in which man can live as a scientist, yes, but above all, sentient as a creature of God, alive in his world. This world pure, not clouded by idiocy, not imagining himself as a god, as so many of us are forced to do, but happy as a child of God. But still, my thoughts come upon me like wolves, my needs swamp me, my desires overwhelm me. It is not mortality I now fear, but its opposite. That idiot's part of me that attempts to convince me that I am above mortal concerns, the foolish part of a man that tells him he is immortal, that tells him, that whispers like a serpent, that seduces like an apple, that charms like Eve, that tells him he is God. I am not God. In this truth I will find my absolution. I shall be set free. The trees and the wolves howl, and the dance of the raindrops shall set me free, my lord, but this is utter tripe. Yet there is something there. I know there is. I pray now, only for the talent to make this make some kind of sense. Oh, the lot of the fool who inspires to be more. Ours is the most humiliating of burdens. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I don't know what to make of that reading. It sounds like a load of trash to me, and if that's the kind of stuff Dutch was reading, no wonder he led the gang astray. What I'm getting from that is he one time thought of himself as a god when he was famous because everyone looked up to him and, you know, was like hanging on every word he says. But now he feels like nature is God. That's mostly what I get from that reading, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. But that's it for the video today. I really hope you did enjoy this. I know I did for sure. Make sure to leave a like on it if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. And if you want to join up with the Void Space membership, I'd love you to be a member. That's it for the video today, guys. Talk to y'all soon. And I'll see y'all in the Void.